Hi, welcome back to the channel. In today's video I will be showing you how we built our hen shelter and we will be planting up some beds. So when we brought the hens up here, we just put some netting over their enclosure initially just to protect them from any birds getting in to get to their feed or from coming to get to them at all. Now that we have got them a bit more settled in, we wanted to give them a bit more cover to protect them from the elements. Obviously we get a lot of rain here and it can be quite windy. It has been very recently, so we wanted to give them a little bit more cover in their enclosure. This wouldn't just protect them from the rain and the wind, but also in the summer a bit of shade from the sun as well. The main structure itself could also be used to put roosts on for them, or to hang things like their feeders or drinkers, or to have things like cabbages or lettuces as enrichment for them hanging from the structure as well. Ross built the structure just using a basic timber frame and then put angled supports at each end so we could have a pitched roof on top of it. For the roof itself, we used some of the corrugated iron that we salvaged from an old shed. It's a bit of a blustery morning, but we have to do things on the days that we're free. And today we are working on the hen shelter in the hen run to remove the rusty and broken pieces of the corrugated iron that we used on the roof. We're just going to mark it out, cut a straight line, and then Ross is going to angle grind it off and then use a grinder on the edge so that it isn't sharp anymore. We also have these drinkers that I think are actually used for cattle, but we thought they'd be great to use in our hen run as well. So we've attached these drinkers to a water source, and what they will do is, as the water level goes down, they will automatically refill, so it saves us from worrying about having to refill their drinkers for them. We think they're much happier now that they are up here and they can get outside a bit more, even with the elements being a little bit miserable still at the minute, but they're laying more eggs, so they must be a little bit happier now. So we brought quite a few plants with us from our previous garden. We tried to take as many things as possible that we really wanted out of that garden and bring it with us. Obviously we did leave a few nice bits there for the next house owners, but we did want to bring a lot of it with us. We loved a lot of the plants that we had, and some of the plants that we had we definitely wanted to keep, so we did bring them along. Unfortunately, I am not the best at remembering to label things, and the things that I have labelled, I'm not entirely sure of varieties, so colours could be slightly different to what I'm presuming they're going to be. But we are trying to group the plants that we have into roughly sections of what colour their flowers will be. This will just help us to be able to select certain plants depending on how they flower, what they look like when they flower, and to make sure that things in different beds are flowering at different times. So something we definitely want in this garden is to have something flowering all year round. So we have got quite a lot of things that will flower from probably February right through till October, November. But we are going to try and make sure we have things flowering all year round. We want to create biodiversity, and by doing that we want to have a variety of different plants that are suitable for different insects as well as birds. In each bed that we're creating we want different levels, so plants at different heights. We want slight variations on colours. We want colours that are we want some beds to have colours that are going to contrast against each other, but then in other beds, colours that complement each other. So we are really thinking about how each bed is going to look, what sort of feel we want to have for that bed. And some beds will have a very specific theme, I suppose you'd call it. Other beds will have a bit more of a loose theme, and we'll probably just go with what we think works well with each other. Other plants we will also try and work with companion plants to make sure that they complement each other as well, because some plants work better with others. So as this was the first bed that we were constructing, we were very particular about which area we wanted to start in, and this is basically on the corner of where our driveway is. So it'd be the first bed that you would see. We wanted to use materials that we had lying around, so because we had quite a lot of branches and sticks lying around from when the trees came down, we figured that we would use those to build a bit of a dead hedge around the back edge of this particular bed. We weren't really doing it as a bit of a permanent structure. It was more just to kind of stop us from getting too muddy. You can see that the ground is still really wet, but it was more to just stop the dogs from running straight through the newly planted bed, and to just give it a bit of an edge. Once the back of the bed was finished, we edged the front with some cut pieces of logs. Again, this was not necessarily a permanent thing. It was more just to define the edge from the stone. We then moved some compost from another area of the garden. So we just wanted to raise that up to be the same as the stone on the driveway. So most of the things in this bed have got either a purple or a white hue to them. The tree in the middle is a forest pansy, which has the most gorgeous leaves. They're like heart-shaped, and when they catch the sun, they're very sort of reddy, pinky purple. So can't wait for that one to come into bud and start getting leaves on it. Other things that we've put in this bed, we've kind of based on either colour or shape. We want a mixture in here. We don't want to keep it kind of all the same level or all the same shapes. So we've got some sort of more spiky leaved plants like irises at the back. We've got some chives closer to the front, a grass because it just needs to break up the different shapes of leaves and plants that are in there. Got a couple of hellebores because they're early flowering plants, so we will get early flowering plants in this bed, which is great. And then I've got an aqualegia at the back, which actually is quite a shade loving plant, so it's kind of tucked in at the back there, and it does get a bit taller. I'm pretty sure that's the purple one and not the pink one I have. And then otherwise I've got a couple of pots of verbena at the back there, which do get very tall and have lovely little purple flowers on them, but they can be kind of planted up very close together and also under things because they get so tall. They can kind of come up underneath things. The other things I've put in are hostas. Now we absolutely adore hostas. They come up a bit later, so they're not actually showing right now, but they will fill out and they will come up later in the season, and they've got lovely kind of very pale lilac-y coloured flowers on them, so should go very well in this bed as well, and should have plenty of space for them to grow and spread out in this particular bed. I'm going to put some wood chip just over this to try and prevent any unwanted weed seeds from setting into it, but yeah, it's great to get the first bed in the garden done. At the minute it looks pretty sparse, but hopefully in the next few months we'll be able to add more bits and pieces into different areas, make sure that colours don't clash too much and that there isn't too many things of the same shape next to each other. As well as planting our first bed, we put in a weeping cherry and an apple tree. The way we plant trees is to dig a hole big enough for the pot that your tree is in to sit in, so that you know that it's deep enough. You don't want to build up the soil to your tree trunk, so you do definitely want to make sure that you don't plant your tree too deep. The soil level in the pot needs to be the same as the soil level of the hole that you're planting it into. Some compost in the base of the hole will just give the tree a few nutrients as it's planted, and then you just fill in around it, firm in with your boot, and then give it a good thorough watering once it's planted. I'm also going to plant a few things around the base of these trees that will hopefully be companion plants and also prevent weeds and things from growing up around the base of the trees. Here I've got some comfrey. I've also planted up some strawberries. And I've also got a couple of lungworts. What we're trying to achieve isn't going to happen overnight. It's going to take a lot of time and a lot of patience, a lot of planning. But it's great to have a first step and to get some things in the ground. Hopefully this will mean that when it rains we won't have quite so much standing water either. And once we do get the polytunnel in and some other defining features, it'll just give us those more permanent structures that we can work around and work from, and give me a lot more space to put seeds and things like that, because I am struggling with that at the minute. I want to plant so much stuff and I feel like I'm really behind, because I would normally have lots of things in, but I just don't have the space to do it. And also the weather isn't the best to be planting things outside directly at the minute, because there are still those very cold evenings and potential for frost. So I'm having to be somewhat restrained and be very patient, and just know that these things will catch up. And if they don't catch up, we can do it next year when we are a bit more set up and prepared for it. So delighted to have the hen shelter done, and really, really pleased that we've started to get some plants in the ground. It's a very first step, but we have so many more little areas planned and lots of big things coming up as well. We are just at the mercy of things that are a little bit out of our control with a couple of things, but yeah, we're getting there slowly but surely. Thanks so much for coming by. We'll see you in the next video.